we'll just invite Bhaiya in a minute. Okay. Dinesh. So people who are joining right now, to give a small intro about Bhaiya. So Bhaiya has been with Art of Living since the early days of the Art of Living, and he's there more than 25 plus years, and has been Sri Yoga director and director for a lot of programs. He is a full-time teacher, traveling across the world in more than 30, 40 plus countries. The count is something which I don't even know. So even Bhaiya should tell us what exactly the count is. So I think both of you, right? Can you
Yeah,
please mention? Can you hear me, right?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So so we'll start. We'll start. Okay, very good. So Bhaiya, we just like to know the session would be all about the journey from you being a normal person to a volunteer to a teacher. Okay. Now, please let us know how you started on this path and what made you be where you are right now, like a full-time teacher, helping many souls to come on the path. So please
Is there a lot of disturbance in the background?
plug in my earphones. Plug in my earphones.
Let's see. Okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah, much better. Can you hear me also?
Okay, Bhaiya. Yes, Bhaiya, I can hear clearly. Yeah. So,
Perfect.
sorry for disturbing. So we just wanted to know what made you come on the path, and is it clear right now? Okay, great. What made you come on the path, and what made you sustain so long? And you are inspiring many souls to come on the path. So we just wanted to know your brief, like what exactly made you come on the path in the first place.
So first of all, let me say that I am a sadhak, and I think all of us look for something in life. I was in IIT. I was studying to be a chemical engineer, doing a master's in chemical engineering. I was doing theater, played soccer, did 100 things. Became GSEC of my hostel, and I think in all these activities, I was searching for something. What's the purpose of my life? I think all of us go through that same process. We keep trying many different things, thinking, okay, I think this will fit me, this will fit me. So I went through the same process. And when I was in college, I went to one of my friends' hostel rooms, and there I saw a photograph of Gurudev. And when I saw a photograph of Gurudev, uh, something just clicked, and I said, I want to know what this person is doing. What is it that I love this face? Something inspired me. I think there was a deeper connect somewhere. And that inspired me to say, I'd like to know more. I'd like to know more about this person, what he's doing. And that's how I did my first Art of Living course. That course blew my mind. It just made me realize there is much more to life than just the physical existence. It's not just atoms and protons and neutrons, but there is so much more emotions, feelings. There is a higher purpose to life. And I think that's what really inspired me to walk on this path, to explore more about sadhana. And that journey of sadhana that started from then, I think that went on. I actually said, what's the purpose of finishing IIT? Let me just go and be a sadhak. But then Gurudev said, no, you should finish. So I came back, got my degree, and then I came back to the ashram. And ever since that, it's been 28 years now. It's been an amazing journey and filled with so many wonderful experiences. And I think when I look back at my life, many people ask me this question. Don't you think you should have done something different? Don't you feel that you should have taken some different choices? And I really look back at my life and say, I think this was the best choice. I wouldn't change any bit of my life for anything. I think this was the perfect thing that could have happened to me in all these years. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey on this path of sadhana, and I think Gurudev is what really inspired me to keep going, because at every step I would find something more. He would give me more challenges. I would realize there is more potential in me. I think that's something that we have all gone through, isn't it?
Absolutely, Bhaiya. Absolutely. So Bhaiya, see, you came on the path, and many people must have done the course along with you, but maybe you can remember how many people are there with you right now. So, I know, I also come from IIT, and how I know how much it is to leave something of such a big caliber, job, good career, good family, and all. So you have given up back in those days, like almost 25 years back, and that's not something very easy. So, what kept you going all this while? What kept you going?
I think for me, I never felt that I had given anything up. I always felt that I chose something that was worth much more. It was very interesting. I had gone to an alumni day function after 25 years. I met so many of my friends and who had gone through various different paths of life. And I realized I had more stamps on my passport than all of them had. I
Wow.
traveled in different cars every day. When I met people, they all smiled. And I looked at it in one sense, even in those normal, practical world day to day sense, I felt I was so much more successful than so many others. And the best thing was, I think everyone said that your smile is something that is really aspirational. I
Wow.
think somewhere we all smile, we all feel joy, but that joy that comes from inside, that is not dependent on anything, I think that is something that is immeasurable. And so I feel I am reminded of something that Brahmanand Saraswati, Gurudev, he used to say, he was very, वो बहुत फक्कड़ थे. He was like very down to earth. He would not mince his words. Someone came to him and said that आप तो बहुत बड़े वैरागी हो. You're such a great renunciate. You have renounced everything in this world. So he said, no, no, I am not the greatest renunciate. You are the greatest renunciate. You have renounced the highest, the divine, and you're with the world. I have given up small things and I've held on to the divine. So I
So,
realized that walking on the spiritual path is not about art of leaving, it's the art of living actually.
so beautiful. That answer was, wow, we are living something more than living something else. Great. So we just wanted to understand what exactly volunteering means. Like, what is Seva? What does exactly do? What it help us in life? So we just wanted to know elaborate answer from you. Yeah.
In the Taittiriya Upanishad, it says that there are 7 layers of our existence. That we are not just one part, but we have so many layers to ourselves. The first layer is the body, and the body is something that we can all relate to. And for the body, how do we keep it in shape? We do exercises, Ayurveda, we maybe do some asanas, take care of all these things, and you take care of your body. Second layer of is the breath, and we do our pranayams, we make sure that we breathe clean air, so many things that we can do to take care of our prana levels. Then the mind, we meditate, and that takes care of the mind. The mind gets agitated very through so many, not all experiences, but some events can agitate the mind, and meditation helps to get it back into rhythm. The intellect through knowledge, when we listen to something that stimulates the intellect, you say, wow, aaj ka talk bada acha tha. It was so nice. I think it made me, I could relate to that, or it gave me some new insight. So something that can stimulate the intellect keeps it healthy. The memory, when we go through deeper meditation, so many times when you want to forget something, that's what you remember. You broke up with
Yeah.
someone and it's so difficult. All you want to do is forget, but you still remember. So, just by forcing the memory to remember something or not remember something doesn't work. And that's why in the art of living we have these hollow and empty meditations, some things that can really help us to uh, get rid of the backlog of the past. And then comes the ego. The ego is, in Sanskrit, is called ahamkara. that which brings up the aham, that which brings up the me, that which separates me from others. And the ahankara has two aspects. One is it helps us to do our things. So when I have a drive, that's ahankara. Then I say, oh, I should achieve this. So the positive aspect of the ego is it makes us achieve. If someone doesn't have a strong ego, then they can't achieve anything. They kind of leave things halfway. But when that same ego gets overpowering, then it bogs us down. Then it leads to depression. Say, oh, only me, me, me. So if you look at it in one sense, when your ego has only you in it, only one person in it, it's a small ego, then it's unhealthy. But when that ego can encompass many more people, when you say the whole world is mine, then you become a healthy ego, become powerful ego. So, in a sense, if we feel that, oh, in my life I want to achieve some things, but I keep procrastinating or it doesn't happen, then the key is to expand, make your ego more powerful. And often we think a powerful ego is counterproductive, but actually, what we call a powerful ego has only one person in it. Very egoistic person has only one person in it. And Seva helps us to transcend, get out of that one person ego and expand that consciousness. And I think that's where Seva is so important in every spiritual path. Not just to get brownie points, good karma, but I think really for us to become super achievers, notice Steve Jobs didn't say only I will benefit. He said, let's make something that can benefit everyone. Every successful person in this world has made something that's useful for others. And when that belongingness increases, that's when we can really be successful in this world. And the key to do that is Seva. So often we keep asking, what about me, what about me, what about me? And we become less and less powerful. But when we say, let's do something for the world, then we become more powerful. And I think that's why every spiritual path over the ages has harped on service so much, has said so much importance on service. But I think a lot of times we feel, yeah, if I have so much to do, if I take more time out for Seva, then my work will. But it's actually the other way around. And the kind of joy that one gets from doing Seva, not from doing something, expecting something in return, but just doing something because of the joy of being, I think that is something immeasurable. We have all tasted that joy, and a lot of times we feel, yaar, voluntary rehte hain, and let's not do anything else, isn't it?
Absolutely, sir. Yeah. So, Bhaiya, like such a beautiful answer. You simply explained what is the importance with 7 levels of existence. Tell me, like, how sadhana comes into picture when we are supposed to do seva. Like, are they kind of related in any way?
Sadhana powers your seva.
Okay.
So, whenever there is no strength, there is no prana, then lack of prana does not allow us to act in this world. Every time your prana level goes down, you need to replenish it. It's like when your mobile gets discharged, you need to charge it again. Otherwise, it doesn't work. The same way, our system needs to get recharged. The prana needs to be recharged, and that's when it works. When there is low prana, then even whatever work we are doing, it seems, oh, ye bhi nahi hoga. Then you say, oh, I don't have time for seva. But when you're fully charged, then you say, I want to take on the world. Hey, or love, bring it on. I think I'm ready for much more. So, in a sense, when I still remember this when I was in college, I still remember I needed my 8 hours of sleep. Otherwise, I would be cranky. I would not be okay during the whole day. But when I started doing my sadhana, when I became I am a sadhak, then I realized that my sleep cut down from 8 to 6 hours, and I was still fresh throughout the day because I was getting my rest from my sadhana. And I did the math. I realized that by doing half an hour of sadhana, I get 2 hours extra every day. And I realized that if I don't have time in my life, then I need to do more sadhana. And that's how the importance of sadhana came to me. So if I'm a really busy person, often busy people say, I don't have time for sadhana.
True.
And I need to really, when I get time, then I'll do my sadhana. But that's like saying, oh, it's very cold, let me take off my coat. Or
Hmm.
my battery is completely discharged, let me pull out the plug. It's completely counterintuitive. When your battery is discharged, you need to charge it. And I think that's why sadhana is so important. So if you want to take on more seva, make sure your sadhana is better.
Super answer. Yeah, like, I mean, never really got such a good answer before. So, Bhaiya, tell me one thing. Like, say for example, if somebody has just done the course and they wanted to know the value of volunteering, many people don't know like they're supposed to do it. So, what is your suggestion to them? Like, why should they take up volunteering?
Volunteering can never be taken up. It's just recognizing the nature of your being. Whenever we are
Hmm.
happy, the tendency is to share.
True.
So if you notice that if you eat a chocolate cake which you like, you immediately want to tell a few people about it. That यार यहाँ पे विशाला में chocolate cake बड़ा अच्छा मिलता है. You
True.
go watch a nice movie, you say, I really want everyone to watch this movie.
Yeah.
So when that inner transformation happens, then you have no option but to share. And
Exactly.
volunteering is nothing but wanting something good for everyone. It's
Yes.
not, for example, the Boy Scout telling the old lady, I want to do my good deed, so you should cross the road 5 times, is not volunteering. It's not
Hmm.
about doing something because you want to achieve something, but it's just doing something because the world needs it right now, stepping in to fill a gap. So I think when all of us recognize just be in our nature, we can't but be volunteers. So when we
Wow.
make volunteering also another activity with targets and some, it becomes another job, and you're already doing a job, you don't want to have another thing. So,
More responsible.
so really speaking, your job bogs you down. You say, oh my God, I have to do it. So when things shift from I have to do it to I want to do it, that is volunteering. I have to do it as a job. I want to do it as volunteer.
Wow. So profound. So profound. So Bhaiya, like, just wanted to step back into your own life. Like, you did the course. So why did you become a volunteer? And after becoming a volunteer, what made you become a teacher? Like, that's the next step. So, would like to know a bit about it.
I think when I did my first happiness program, it used to be called the basic course in those days. I realized that I had something which was super humongously amazing. It made a big difference to my life. And it was like it opened a new dimension to life. I realized that life is not what it seemed, but it's something much more. Like our eyes see something, but they can see only a few frequencies: ultraviolet, infrared, microwaves. There's so much of electromagnetic radiation we never perceive. So even though what we see from our eyes, we think this is the world, yet the world is much more than what we see. Same way, ears, we can hear only a few frequencies. Dogs can hear much better than us. Bats, cats can see much more than us. So there is so much more to creation, but only little bit like a small window that we perceive. So I realized that when I did my sadhana, when I started meditating, it opened me up to a bigger expanse of life, to a bigger understanding of reality, to a bigger experience of reality. And so, like I said, when I tasted chocolate cake in Vishala, I just wanted to tell everyone, hey, Vishala gets the best chocolate cakes ever. In the same way, I think when I touched something so magnificent, I just wanted to share. And that's why it was not something that I had to do, but I wanted to do. And I think so. A volunteer is someone, as you keep doing your sadhana, you can't but volunteer. You can't but want to make a difference to life. And when I realized that, I said, if I could benefit, I want to teach others to benefit.
Yeah.
So I decided to do the teacher's training. This was in 1995. I was still in college, and I said, well, I should become a teacher because I want to. I was, Baba was my teacher, and when I saw Baba teaching, when I saw Gurudev talking, I said, my God, this is something that I want to do in my life. It inspired me so much. So I applied for the teachers training, and we used to get a winter break of about 40 days in winter. And in those days, the teachers training was 30 days, and Gurudev scheduled the teachers training in exactly those 30 days. So I took it like a sign. This is for me. ये तो मेरे लिए बना है. And so I, of course, came. And then Gurudev picked out one form and said, this person not going to do TTC, go do the advanced course. And that was me. So I was wondering what happened, what did I do wrong. But then once Gurudev said, do advanced course, I did the advanced course. And then after the 5 days, I was going to go back. So I came to meet Gurudev. And Gurudev said, Acha, what work do you have? I said, nothing, Gurudev, it's vacation. Do you have a return ticket? I said, no, Gurudev. Then, so he said, okay, then stay back in the ashram. So I stayed back and I had the time of my life because 10:30, Gurudev would tell everyone, go to TTC session. And I would happily close the doors on them. So I realized not doing TTC was such a good thing because I got to spend more time with my Guru. Well, 40 days got over. I went back to my college. I finished IIT. I came back to ashram. 2 years passed, and I said, okay, now I'm ready. So I was going to ask Gurudev, tomorrow TTC is starting. Can I sit for TTC? It was evening time. He was going on a walk, and I was about to ask when another teacher, he's also he used to be a volunteer in those days. He asked Gurudev, can I become a teacher? Can I do the TTC starting tomorrow? So Gurudev looked at him, smiled and said, Arey, Kashi bhi to nahi kar raha, tumko kyun karna hai? So that was my second rejection. And I realized it was so good because I got to stay in the ashram. All the ashramites who do TTC were sent out to teach, and I was the only one who got to stay in the ashram with Gurudev. So I realized that it was something so amazing. And after 13 years, Gurudev said, become a teacher. So I realized there is a time and space, and Gurudev creates the context for us to do whatever it is that we are doing. And I realized that those 13 years of training were even valuable for me. So all of us go our own ways to become a teacher. But one thing is for sure, that we all have the opportunity, and we all become a conduit for someone to experience this wonderful thing that we have experienced. Until we become a teacher, there are a bunch of people who are going to be not coming to this knowledge because you have not done your part. So I really feel that everyone should teach. Of course, you should get trained and then teach. When it comes to so many things, we all want to do it ourselves. But when it comes to teaching, you say, oh, let others do it. So I really feel becoming a teacher definitely is a great ability, and it's a great responsibility also. A lot of times, the fact that it's a responsibility weighs a lot on people. So I have only one thing to say, that this responsibility is not like a crown that weighs heavy, it's like a feather that weighs light. And it just enhances that beautiful quality that each one of us is. And to be able to channel the infinite and bring infinity into someone's lives, I think there is nothing that matches to that, isn't it?
Such, I mean, like, how do you put into words? Like, so good, so good. So, where, like, say, for example, few people become teachers, but after that, they kind of stop teaching. So, what is your suggestion for them? Like, what should they do exactly to restart the teaching? Or, like, what do you say? Like, how do we kind of inspire them, motivate them to
You
do what they're supposed to do? Yeah.
I really feel that it's not about how I can push someone to teach. That's not my role really. everyone is walking their own path and everyone's path is very beautiful. But all I can say is that lit candle can light other candles. So I've seen this. Whenever I've been in Gurudev's physical presence, it has inspired me so much. I just want to go out and do something. When I've seen so many people teaching and I go teach with them, it inspires me so much. So I think a lot of times when each one of us is going through a challenging situation, it makes sense for others to help them along. In the Narada Bhakti Sutra, Gurudev says that these steps are soapy and slippery. Hold on. So I think it's the Sangha that really helps in such cases. Even if you want to go climbing up a mountain, you tie yourself with ropes so that even if someone slips, they don't fall. And I think that's where in the Shastras it says Sanghe Shakti Kali Yuge. That in Kali Yuga, it is the energy of the Sangha, of the group, that really can help us to move forward. There's nothing wrong about teaching or not teaching. But I think a lot of times for teachers, it's that guilt that weighs so much that, oh, I have this ability, but I'm not using it. So, and that becomes counterproductive. So for each one of us who's teaching, who's there, I think it makes sense for all of us to take people along. And if you're not been teaching for a while, big deal, so what? To some karma, just start again. Gurudev gives a very beautiful example. He says, when a dog gets wet, it just shakes itself and then moves ahead. It doesn't keep saying, oh, I'm wet, and gets depressed. So I would just say, all of us, whether we are a teacher or a volunteer or whatever we label ourselves as, forget the labels. Just be yourself. Each one of us is such a gem. There's scintillating consciousness in each one. Just live to the best of your ability, and I think that is it. I don't think Gurudev ever says you should do this. I've never seen him being didactic. He's always been inspiring, but he's never been. I've never seen him say that, oh, if you don't do this, you go to hell. So I think we are on such a beautiful path. Just recognize that beauty within us. I think that's it.
Sure. So true, Bhaiya. Like, just wanted to ask one thing. Like, many people say that it's okay to be a devotee and be myself. Some people would not want to become a teacher. So, what do you suggest for such people? Like, they are very good. They are capable of doing a lot of good things. So, say for example, in my own case, like, I used to always postpone becoming a teacher, thinking that okay, somebody else will do it and all. So, for people like me, what do you suggest in such cases?
It's very interesting to look at why this happens. Most of us have an amazing experience. In fact, I would say all of us have an amazing experience with the Sudarshan Kriya, with the whole experience of walking in the knowledge. And that's what inspires us to volunteer. But somewhere, there is a fear that I don't think I'm ready to sit on that seat. My teacher is so brilliant, I will never come up to that level. And I think it is that fear that kind of makes us feel I'm not ready. But I think the real question to ask is not, am I ready, but am I willing? Do I really want to make a difference to people's lives on this planet? And if you ask this question, I'm sure every one of us wants to make that little difference. Even the squirrel wanted to make a difference and threw a small stone while building the Ransetu, the bridge for Rama. So I would say, whatever it is, whether you are a bear who's throwing big stones or a squirrel that's throwing small stones, big deal, you're part of the whole team. So I think all of us are really eligible to teach. So I would really never ask the question, how many of us want to be teachers? I would really frame it as saying, how many of us want to make a difference to society? Do you really want to change even one person? Come, we'll train you to make that happen. A child who goes to the first standard maybe doesn't know calculus, but going through school in a few years learns calculus. So even if you don't know how, there's this very beautiful question that Gurudev answered in satsang once. Someone asked Gurudev, Gurudev, I don't think I have lived the knowledge. I don't think I can accept everyone as they are. How can I teach all these things? I don't think I have reached that level where I can teach. And Gurudev smiled and said, if you're on a highway and you're going to Bangalore and someone asks you what's the way to Bangalore, would you say that I have not reached Bangalore so I can't tell you the way? You would say, hey, I'm going to Bangalore, I have not reached yet. Come along, let's walk together and we'll reach together. So I think that is the question that really is worth asking. Are you on the path and would you like to help others along? I think that will give you the right people to see why it is that it's worth being a teacher, isn't it?
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think where, like, say, for example, somebody wants to become a teacher, but their family does not allow them to become a teacher, or their corporate setup where they're in the office that does not allow them to take time. So, for such people, what do you suggest?
I would say that all of us feel that we have X amount of energy. And with this X amount of energy, I can do Y amount of things. All I'm saying is that every teacher training, I've seen this happening, that the kind of energy level that we can sustain has grown tremendously. It's become such an expanse of energy. Some things that I never felt I could do, just doing those 5 Padmasadhanas on the TDC just changes the way I look at the world. So when we have the same energy that we have, yes, of course, it's not possible to handle so many different things, relationships, workplace, and then do seva. So no one is saying that you use the same energy level and do more things. All we're saying is, let's stretch if you have a vessel of 1 liter and you expect to hold 10 liters, you can never do it. That's logical. But hey, we can always give you a vessel of 10 liters and then you'll be able to do all of those things. So I think teachers training is really the process where we are able to hold much more energy and makes it possible for us to do all these things. Why do our relatives not want us to teach? For the simple reason that in their perception, if you start doing this, you might harm whatever else it is that you're doing. And you might not be able to do justice to that. So if you can convince them that you're able to do more, no parent ever wants a child to not do good things. And I think everyone understands this fact that it's such a noble cause to be able to transform someone's life. So the resistance comes not from the fact that you're doing something not so good, but because of the fact that they're so concerned for you. They love you so much that they don't want you to kind of distribute your energy and make yourself weaker. But when you can showcase how you have much more energy and you can do 100 different things, I'm sure you'll find that everyone goes along. So when I first came to the ashram, it was explosion, volcano, because of course IIT and then coming to the ashram, leaving everything, it's unheard of. But then I had such amazing parents. They came to the ashram, they saw what I was doing, and they said, well, you're doing something so nice, and they joined me. So, my mom stays with me in the ashram now, and it's so beautiful to see that the whole family comes along. So I really feel that when you are sincere and when you can recognize the love that is making people say those things, I think that's how you can take everyone and move ahead. Does that make sense?
Beautiful. Yeah. Super. Super. I mean, it can't be put better than this. Absolutely. So, Vaya, tell me one thing. Like, let's go to something connection with respect to. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Your face is kind of frozen, I think.
Okay. So, I'll just ask it. Like, it seems to be some video glitch. So, what is Gurudev according to you? Like, what is Gurudev to you? Just wanted to ask this question.
That is a very nice question. For me, Gurudev is nothing and everything. I see no personality there. There is really no one kind of thing. So he keeps continuing to surprise me with the things that he does. And yet at the same time, I see him in every small action, in every small thing. So, as a physical person, I see him, of course, as a amazing person, as someone who's so kind, who's all these amazing qualities. But for me, the Guru is not limited to just that body, and I think that is what makes the Guru come alive for me. I remember in one of the talks, Gurudev had said that throwing light on life is Guru. So, Guru is when we are able to make sense of life, that guidance, that thing that gives us an insight, that is the Guru. So, all of us go through so many experiences, and when any experience kind of kindles that, wow, oh my God, I understood what's this, what does this have to give me? I think that is what the Guru is. And so, the way I look at it, the Guru is present in each and every experience of my life because I look through the eyes of the Guru. So it's like there are so many knowledge sheets that Gurudev has given, and in those he kind of puts forth all the things, the way he looks at life. So if I can look at life through the eyes of my Guru, and I think that's what really makes the Guru come alive in our life, isn't it?
So beautiful. Like that's. But I just wanted to ask one thing. Like you have been on the path for close to 30 years. Like you have seen a lot of ups and downs. Now, for a volunteer who is beginning his journey right now, for a devotee who is beginning his journey right now, few lessons or few suggestions which will help us to be on the path for a longer time. Yeah, please.
You know, the first thing is I feel it's not about what you're getting, but what you're giving. When we keep focusing on what we are getting, then that's going to make us kind of keep looking for something. But when you focus on what you're giving, that expands the consciousness. When someone doesn't have, they ask. And when someone has, they give. So shifting from an asking consciousness to a giving consciousness helps us to sustain ourselves. So there's no point being a beggar in life. Just live in that abundance. And I think that is what really helps to sustain. Because otherwise we keep looking for an experience, we keep looking for things, we keep looking for people to do some things. And that drains us. But if I keep seeing what more can I give, and that keeps sustaining. And the most important thing is to remember that I am a sadhak. So if you remember that, then I think everything else is done. So, so Gurudev says, I think sadhana, seva, and satsang. These are the three aspects that enliven our life. So sadhana helps us to go deeper within. When the foundation is strong, then you can build a bigger building. Seva is what helps us to power that. So the more seva we do, the more we expand our consciousness, the more our building becomes bigger. And satsang fills it up with joy. I think that unless if you have a big building and it's totally empty, then there's no use. So I think all these three aspects, sadhana, seva, and satsang, when they come together, that will make life blossom. Both strengthening the foundation, having a bigger building, and filling it up with joy.
Yeah, what all the answers you're giving us so nice. Like I think, Bhaiya, tell me one thing. Like, what does it be like to be with Gurudev? Like, of course, everybody has their own experience, but you have traveled with him so much, and you may have been with him in same place sometimes. So maybe some learnings what you got from being with Gurudev.
You know, one thing I've realized from being with Gurudev is to be natural.
Okay.
I've seen him just be himself. He has never had to put on a show or be something or do something different. And I think that difference between who we are and what we show, this is what causes stress. And this is not sustainable. So just being natural is living from the heart. I think that is one big thing. Second thing I've seen is the amazing way Gurudev has empathy with everyone. He is able to relate to everyone. He creates that space where everyone feels comfortable. When I am comfortable with everyone, that's no big thing. But if everyone can be comfortable with me, that is something else. When I can bless someone, that's no big deal. But if I can get others to bless everyone, I think that's something, that's a guru. So the way I've seen him is that whatever he has, he makes sure he gives it to others. So when Art of Living started off, only Gurudev was teaching. But then he made Art of Living teachers, then he made advanced course teachers, TDC. Everything that he's done, he's handed it over and said that each one of us, he strengthens all of us. And I think in that process of strengthening everyone, this is that quality that is so amazing that I've found in Gurudev.
Beautiful, yeah, beautiful. I think, I mean, it's a blessing, isn't it? It's a blessing.
Totally, totally.
But I have one thing, like, say, for example, for teachers who are just starting up, like I became a teacher 3 months back, and there are many teachers who become teachers like 2, 3 months, 2, 3 years down the line. So, for those people, what are your suggestions to be like, be a medium of Gurudev, like, to be a good servant of the master? So, what is that suggestion from your side?
I think first thing is to stop thinking of oneself as a servant and walk like a king and be a perfect servant. That combination is something that really a teacher is. So, if we can realize that we represent something that is so vast and so deep, at the same time, the amazing lightness of being that Gurudev is, we embody that. I think that's a very beautiful combination. Once someone was talking about this phrase Jai Gurudev that we use so often, and Guru is that which is deep. Guru means that which is big, that is vast. And Deva is something that is playful, mischievous. Often that which is wise, there is a lot of depth and maybe there is no mischief there. And often that which is mischievous, there is no depth, it's all flaky. But Jai Gurudev really represents that consciousness that is both vast and deep, at the same time lively and so much in the present moment. I think that combination is what Gurudev embodies. And that is what I've seen in so many teachers of the art of living. That's what I feel is such a blessing for each and every one of us. I think so, keeping that naturalness, at the same time keeping that depth, being a child, at the same time being representing that vastness of knowledge that this tradition represents. I think that is what really keeps us all going. What do you say?
Beautiful. Yeah. Very, very true. Very, very true. Such everything should be simple, like a child, and be that innocent. Maybe there's a follow-up question on this. Like, I got this question from one of the teachers. They mentioned that you are very knowledgeable, you're full of wisdom, and you're very innocent and very humble. Like, how do you maintain this combination? Because usually, who are really on the path for a long time, somehow ego comes up, sometimes pride comes up. So you never kind of display that ever. Like I have never seen you like that. A lot of people say that you never have that quality. So how do you maintain that? So any suggestions for people to be like that?
If I claim that, then I'll be very egoistic.
Yeah, but let's assume that you are not there for time being. Yeah, please suggest.
No, I really look at how Gurudev is and I see how I can follow my master. And I think that is what keeps me going. I've never seen him show off his, I mean, at the same time, you see that amazing personality come through. At the same time, he's the most humble person I've ever met in this whole planet, who's willing to do each and everything. I still remember when we were here in the ashram that we used to have these, in those days, electricity would go off and we are in a rural setting, so the pumps would not work and we had to push the hand pumps with water and then fill up the tank. I remember there was a course and we had to make a human chain to fill up the tank. And the most difficult part of that human chain was actually pumping that hand pump. All of us were just passing the water and Gurudev was standing there and really pumping on that hand pump. And for me, that visual is something so amazing. I still remember, And I think as we grew up, all of these qualities were really given a lot of value. And I think that's why uh, that's why I feel that it's worth having these qualities. Humility is an amazing thing to have. And being natural is something so amazing. So I just feel that it's there for each one of us. I'm not saying I'm special. I remember in the Boon Ashram, oops,
I think, yeah. There you're kind of not audible. Let's wait for some time. If anybody has any questions, please note them in the comment section. But yeah, can you hear us? Let's wait for some time. We'll invite him one more time. Yeah, can you? Yeah. We can hear you. We can hear you now.
you can. I think my
Yeah,
phone
yeah.
just got overheated and it said, sorry, boss, I'm giving up.
Sure, I can plug on.
Yeah, yeah. So, are you able to hear me still?
Yes, Bhaiya, we can hear you, but your video is gone.
Oh, okay. Do you think I should try and connect once again?
Yes, yes, please, please. You can disconnect and I'll just send you invite request one more time. In the meantime, people who are on the session, you can, if you have any questions related to you wanted to ask Bhaiya, please mention in the chat section. We'll be asking him. Okay. I invited him one more time with the joining. Bhaiya, can you hear us?
Yeah, yeah, I can now. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah. Perfect, perfect. It's fine. Yeah. Just in life, we have these problems coming up once in a while. So yeah, just smile and
so.
get that.
I think
Yeah.
this is the perfect example that when everything is perfect and you smile, it's no big deal. But when
Yeah.
things go haywire and you can still smile, that is something worth holding.
Beautiful. So nice. That's so nice. So we are just wanted to ask you where I'll be giving you a word and your favorite quote or favorite incident, whatever Gurudev has mentioned in the past 30 years, please let us know. Okay. Uh, Politics.
It's a part of life. So I remember Gurudev, someone asked Gurudev this question and he said that politics is a part of life. You don't have to be afraid. Even during Krishna's time, there was politics. But you can think of politics, often we give a negative connotation to it. But politics is really the ability to take care of more people. And so, in a certain sense, unless good people enter politics, we'll never have a good government. So I think we should not really vilify politics. Yes, of course, there's good and bad in every sphere. There are good and bad doctors, there are good and bad engineers. But I think if all of us can make a concerted effort to be more responsible, that's good politics.
And I think this is something which we can apply for all the art of living teachers kind of feeling in politics also. Okay, okay. So we are next thing, relationship. What is your take on
So,
this?
so I think again, relationships, there are so many kinds of relationships. There's a guru shishya relationship, there's the relationship between parents and children, there are relationships between friends, between spouse. I think every relationship, Gurudev says so beautifully that when you give more, when you're focused on giving in a relationship, that relationship grows. But when you keep taking from a relationship, at some point of time it starts feeling empty. So the way to sustain relationships is really to give more than you take.
Beautiful. Career, Bhaiya, career.
Uh, Choose it wisely. I still remember Gurudev saying that when it comes to the career, uh, that you should listen to your mind. When it comes to seva, listen to your heart, and when it comes to your job, listen to your mind. Often we try to do
Mix.
job with our heart and seva with our mind. Both of them suffer. So if I keep thinking if I do seva, I'll get darshan with Gurudev, this, that, then it never really works like that. And same time when we try to do job emotionally, again it falls flat. So do whatever it needs to. So someone asked Gurudev, Gurudev, how can I get job satisfaction? So he said, do your job to fill your stomach, for satisfaction come here.
So nice, Bhaiya. So nice. So the next question is basing on this only. Service.
That's a part of life. I think everyone inherently has service in them. So that's our nature. Whenever there is love, whenever there is belongingness, then of course the nature of the consciousness is to share. And so service is never a burden. Often we think service becomes a burden, another thing to do, because we connect it to some work activity. Work seems like a burden because we don't think of it as service. I still remember there's one very nice story of that Gurudev shared. It's there on YouTube also, where he talks about how Shivaji had a guru, and one day Shivaji Maharaj, he went to his guru and said, I'm done, been there, done that, I have really ruled over the kingdom, I'm finished, I'm done with it. I'd like to just come in the ashram and stay and meditate. So the guru said, okay, tomorrow come, I'll give you your seva. And then when he came, he said, go sit on the throne and rule the kingdom. When Shivaji said, that's what I want to give up, he said, well, you are mine, the kingdom is mine, sit and do my word. And so it said that that day something shifted for Shivaji, where he started doing all his work as seva. And I think that aspect, when we start blurring the line between material and spiritual, often when you're at office, you think, oh my God, I want to do my long kriya. And when you're doing some other seva, you think, oh, I have a deadline at office. So we tend to compartmentalize our life into spiritual and material. But if we just shift and see that the whole world is spiritual, then every action becomes a service. And that's why in the Indian traditions, there is a mantra associated with everything. You wake up, Karagre Vasate Lakshmi. You go to have a bath, you have food, there's a mantra. Evening, there's a mantra. Go out to work, there's a mantra. So you connect spirituality with everything, and then everything becomes service. So I know it's not a rapid fire, but I thought
Yeah, no, it's really good, Bhaiya. It's really good.
giving
Thanks for such
context to
wonderful
that.
stories. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There are problems in life. Very common
I think
problems. Yeah.
every problem is an opportunity. So Gurudev gave a very beautiful example. He says that no step ever decides whether you should go up or down. A step is
Hmm.
just a step. You decide whether that step
Wow.
will take you down or will it take you up. So every problem is just an opportunity. When you take a problem as an opportunity, you go up. When you take an opportunity as a problem, you go down. So no
That's
step ever
no
decides.
nice. Wow. I mean, just how you look at it, the perception behind the problem, how we look at it. The
Exactly.
last one, the guru. Guru.
Everyone has it in their life. We all learn. As a child, our parents are our gurus. So life teaches us everywhere. And that consciousness that teaches us is our guru. But when we find someone in person that we're able to relate to, that makes it a millionfold. Because finding a guru in something abstract is very difficult. but as human beings, we relate to people. So when you can find that same principle embodied in someone, that really takes it to the next level. That makes life much more easier.
Wow. But I think just I happened to come across this particular incident that you have been recently to Russia to teach Siam to people who don't even understand the language we speak, and they don't even know who Gurudev is. So, like, maybe you can share some instance of how exactly you taught them and how exactly the transformation has been, because people are saying it's mind blowing. Like, you speak Russian sometimes out of nowhere. So, yeah.
So, of course, I think that's the beauty of being a teacher. Uh, I still remember one of the first teachers was there. His name was Shiv Shankar Madki, and he was a person from Maharashtra. He didn't know much Hindi, also, not definitely not English at all. And in the teachers' training, in those initial days, there were Michael Fishman, Rashi Patel, all these people who were just talking in English,
Intellectuals.
and he would sit in the back and sleep. Now he became a teacher. He was the first person to become a teacher. He would take 100 people courses, and he would speak in English. He would talk about the Vedas. He would do all those things. And people asked Gurudev, "Why did you make this person a teacher?" Gurudev said, "Because he can get out of the way, and I can go through him." So,
Wow.
so our so I feel really the qualification to be a teacher is to be able to get out of the way and just let the guru through.
So, well, to end the session, we would want a most memorable incident you had in your life from the last 30 years with Gurudev.
I can see someone is saying, please speak a little in Russian. So for those
Yeah,
who
yeah, please,
want
if you
to
can.
see me show off, привет, как дела, хорошо. And yeah, I can speak a little more Russian than that. I can teach the whole Yoga Nidra in Russian, but now is the time for Nidra and not Yoga Nidra. But I'd like to leave you with something about Gurudev. You know, when I was in the ashram first, every year during Holi, Gurudev would go to Rishikesh and he would take a few people from the ashram to Rishikesh. And I would keep waiting for my time, and he would keep telling me, stay in the ashram, take care of it while I'm gone. So I would say, Gurudev, ashram will take care of itself. I don't take care anyway. It's everything you. Just let me come with you to the ashram, to Rishikesh. And one of the years, Gurudev was going to talk about the Narad Bhakti Sutra. And so I said, Gurudev, this time I should definitely come. And then, I said, Gurudev, you are going to be in Rishikesh. You're going to talk about Narad Bhakti Sutra. I should be in Rishikesh. And then, of course, Gurudev went to Rishikesh. I stayed in Bangalore. But then afterwards, when it was lockdown, it's going to be lockdown, I was going to teach a Sanyam in Rishikesh ashram. And I told Gurudev, I think they're going to lock down, and even the trustees, all those people are telling me, don't come, we'll cancel the course. They said, no, go to Rishikesh, it's very nice, we'll come back. So I went to Rishikesh, lockdown happened, and the ashram got locked down. Gurudev said, no, stay there. And then Gurudev spoke on the Narad Bhakti Sutra in Hindi, and I was in Rishikesh, and I realized that what I had wished for so many years back did come true finally. So one thing I realized is whatever jo ichha kari ho man nahi, Prabhu Partap kachu durlabh nahi. Whatever we wish for will definitely come true. So here's I
Live
think
example.
an example that all of us can really think of when we go to bed tonight, that all our wishes will definitely get fulfilled. And if there are some wishes that are not so good for us, we have a guru who is a safety net who will make sure that we are safe from our own wishes. So, Jai
Thank you.
Gurudev.
Yes. Such a wonderful session, and I think really grateful that on our request you took such busy schedule, so you took the time for coming on the session. And I hope everybody enjoyed the session. And Kashi Bhaiya's Twitter handle and Instagram handle, I'll tag it in the description. If anybody, yeah,
I can
I'm
see
not
that
sure.
there are some more questions that were not
Yeah,
answered. There's one person who said, please ask our question. So for all those who didn't get their questions answered, just go through the knowledge sheet, intimate note to sincere seeker, and you'll find all your answers.
Super, super. I think such a wonderful way to end the session. Like Gurudev has taken such sessions like this for the last, in I think 1995, Seva, right? From 1995 to 2000, right?
Yeah.
So for almost for 7 years, he took different sessions, and those were transcribed in a book named Intimate Note to Sincere Seeker book.
Exactly.
And that book has amazing answers. And I think Bhaiya recommends, every teacher recommends, and Gurudev also recommends. Recently in Satsangs, Gurudev also started saying it. So everybody should have that book, and I think that's all. Like any final suggestion or final saying before you leave?
I think just keep smiling and know that the Guru is there for each and every one of us. We're all blessed.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Jai Gurudev. Sorry if I could not ask many questions because we're short of time. And thanks for taking time to join the session. Have a great weekend. Jai Gurudev.